The technique of the throw-in is basically determined by the rules, but there is some room to achieve a more successful throw-in, especially over a long distance. We will first deal with execution and conformance with the rules. Welcome back to another episode of Football Academy. Subscribe to be part of the Football Academy community. Check out the limited time offer links in the description. The rule sets out the technique. If the ball is played over the sideline, the team which didn't touch the ball last receives a throw-in. The throw-in must be conducted at the point where the ball left the field of play. The player throwing in must face the field of play. Each foot must at least touch part of the sideline or the ground outside the field of play. There is no minimum distance to the edge of the playing field. The ball is thrown over the head from behind with both hands. The minimum distance between the person throwing in and the player on the field is 2 meters. If an opposing player interferes with the person throwing in, the opposing player receives a yellow card. A goal may not be scored directly from a throw-in. The offside rule does not apply. The person throwing in may only play the ball after another player on the pitch has touched it. If the person throwing in breaks the throw-in rules, the opposing team receives the throw-in. Common throw-in rule violations. Problems with regulatory correct implementation often arise when the teammate is too close to the person throwing in. It can be repeatedly observed that the ball is released behind or above the head or far in front of the body. Even professionals may have problems with this. On throwing, a foot is raised or there is a jump. The person throwing in steps over the line. These difficulties may be overcome, however, through targeted training. If the teammate is standing close to the person throwing in, the amount of swing in the arm must be reduced, allowing for a more precise throw-in that is rule compliant. Otherwise, the throw-in may be placed at half height or at head height. This is not just majorly difficult for beginners, and as a coach, it's better to require players to maintain a greater distance from the person throwing in. It goes without saying to be especially mindful of stepping over the line or lifting of the foot during training. Optimal throw-in. A throw-in is only optimal when the team throwing in maintains possession. It's really that simple. Basically, the throw-in is directed towards the opposing goalposts because managing the ball is often problematic, and there is a high risk of creating advantages for your opponents arising out of the throw-in. A throw towards your own goal should only occur when team members can control the ball fully, without pressure from the opposition. When there isn't much distance between the person throwing in and the player receiving the throw, it is recommendable to let the ball bounce back off the person throwing in, naturally. The thrower should move into the playing field so as to be freely available for play. He then has the playing field before him, whereas the player receiving the throw-in mostly has his back to the opposing goal and has to turn around. If playing back to the thrower is not possible, the person receiving the throw-in can try to control the ball or pass it directly onto another team member. It can go no further, but it can go more successfully. It is noticeable that the long throw-in in soccer is often used when it is not needed, a pointless drill. For the most part, throw-ins are made to go far in order to threaten the opponent's goal directly. In order to be thrown directly in front of the goal, it must be propelled 30 to 40 meters. Not many people can do this, and that's why the header lengthening variant is often used. The long throw-in and its effect on counterattacks is underestimated.